Welcome everyone. Today we are back playing Ultimate General Civil War and we are beginning the long-awaited Battle of Gettysburg. We're going to be fighting with originally just the initial troops that we were given, but we will be receiving 3 of our corps in reinforcements. Those 3 corps will of course include the Renegade's Corps, which is the 1st Corps, the 2nd Corps, and I believe the 4th Corps. I've deployed as many of the line infantry units as is possible. I want to make sure that I have a lot of troops because we all know how dangerous this battle is going to be. I'm going to pause time just so I can begin assessing what the situation is. We have to defend McPherson's Ridge and Oak Ridge and Seminary Ridge. Now, if you're wondering how I know this, it's because I've played Ultimate General Gettysburg a lot, and I'm going to be playing it slightly different because we also have to hold this position. Now, I am going to go ahead and tell you, we are going to be abandoning some of these positions rather early in the game, mainly because it is incredibly difficult. If you've played any of these games, you know it's been incredibly difficult to hold these positions. So I will probably be using the defensive cover of these areas, and then I will put my troops on the side here, and I'll go ahead and move this artillery back to this position where it can begin setting up and being ready for the main battle. Hopefully it won't be too long until our reinforcements get here. All right, our men are going ahead and moving. Now, I may be making a mistake by placing the troops already in position, but I believe it's the best option at the time. Let's see, here comes troops. This is very, very different from the way the scenario plays out in Ultimate General Gettysburg. First off, the enemy appears with more troops much quicker, but we also have more skirmishers. However, I've noticed after playing this, and I think it will become fairly apparent, that the skirmishers in Ultimate General Gettysburg were a little more robust, I guess is the correct term, than the skirmishers in this game. Now, our vedettes, they're just called cavalry in this game, but in the original game they were called vedettes, which is essentially a they were kind of a light cavalry scouting used for patrols, that sort of stuff. Not incredibly effective. Where's the commander? Right here. Good. All right, they're charging, but that's okay. We'll get off some fire on Archer. Our guys are going to fall back through the woods. We're essentially just trying to slow them down to give us some time to get some infantry troops up. I'm going to move the cavalry this direction just to kind of try to slow them down. We're getting flanked here. Now the vedettes, even though that's not what they're called, that's what their original name was, have Sharp's carbines. So they're going to be doing some, essentially, they're going to work as a very, very fast skirmish unit. They're going to snipe and then run away. Fire and then, that's right, run away. Now as soon as Devon's skirmishers form up, we're going to move them on into the trees there. Now we're slowing them down here, but it's not going to last too long. I'm going to go ahead and move the commander back a bit. I can't afford to lose him. We did manage to rout that unit, which is quite impressive. Going to go ahead and move the cavalry around. And I'll go ahead and send these guys up to begin taking up this position here, just in case the enemy begins to move. Now, it's important to note, I'm going to try to maintain as much of my forces as possible until the end of the battle. Now, for this first video, I'm going to go ahead and go through the entirety of this portion of the game because it's such a short scenario, and then we will try to reform. Okay, our guys aren't going to last too long, but we are slowing them down. We've got 1 minute on this portion of the mission clock. All right. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and send the skirmishers here, and we'll send Devon. All right, here we go. Our first reinforcements have arrived. That'll be the 2nd Corps under Piat, I think. Yeah, something like that. But the problem is we are still outnumbered, and our cavalry has been captured. I didn't pay close enough attention to take care of them. Now, what are we going to do? Well, I know that it's going to be really difficult to get troops to hold all of these positions. So what I'm going to do, Poe has very heavy parrot guns, so I'm going to move him into this position. We will be getting attacked from this angle as well, and there'll be enemy coming essentially from every direction at some point or another. I'm checking to see if I dismount troops, they cannot go into shelter, which you'll remember we were able to do at a previous game. These skirmishers are doing their job. They're holding up an attack, giving our guys time to get into line. Preston will go into here. Cochrane will go into here. Leonard is going to go towards this position. Now, we're only going to hold this for a while. Not much longer at all. We can't hold this position. There is no way. I am going to let, if those skirmishers could fall back a little more, it would be nice. I'm going to move Devin up to this position just to kind of hold briefly. All right, these guys are going to come forward just to snipe. The Confederates are going to take McPherson's Ridge. I could contest it, but I'm a bit concerned that that would be a bad idea. I'm going to go ahead and move the skirmishers. These 2 units that have broken. All right, I'm going to order you guys to fall back. Commander's going to fall back too. Our infantry is getting into position as we speak, and we'll be able to hold this position a lot better. But I am going to send them up onto the hill, all of the skirmishers. The reason being, I don't think I can really hold this territory very well, but if I get skirmishers up there, there's a chance with the extreme cover that we could hold the position. Now, Cochrane is in place. Siegfried will get in position here. Preston will get in position there. Leonard will get into position here. We'll allow these skirmishers to try to hold this hill, which is not an ideal move, but it is at least a decent attempt. I'm going to break off some skirmishers and try to reinforce. These skirmishers are going to try to reinforce as well. Guys, come on, they're going to need to run. Preston's boys need to get into position. Fortunately for us, we do have that artillery there. Siegfried is getting into position. Our skirmishers will form in the mountains, basically, and then they'll just snipe down and hopefully be able to tear up the enemy as they get into position. There we go. We've got both of our commanders boosting the morale here, where the battle is beginning. I am going to move these troops here. Send Preston's skirmishers into position. Kellogg has been wounded. Alright, things aren't going so great. I'm going to go ahead and move the commander down here. We'll leave these skirmishers here, and as units break off, we'll move them back into the town or down into the line to help support. Meier is on there. Let's see. These are parrots. We'll leave them here, even though it's not the ideal positioning for a parrot gun, but I think it might be useful. Caliph has been killed. His battery needs to pull back into these trees anyway. We'll order Devlin's cavalry to move back here. Grab a bunch of this skirmish units. Send them forward to deal with Archer. Our skirmishers, this is definitely showing the strength of skirmishers. They're not incredibly good. They can't take a beating. They can take a good artillery barrage, though. Now, the enemy is charging very strong at this position. Devin needs to just simply retreat. Except these three will focus on this. Come on, they're gonna disintegrate. Yep, they disintegrated. We can't hold it. I'm just trying to slow them down. Now we're going to fall back. They will form a defensive line along this position. There's no way we could hold it or this. I have tried it many, many times in Ultimate General Gettysburg. It is possible, but I just know the difficulty I had there where I had units made for doing it. And I know here the situation is far different. Now I'm trying to grab Preston, who is breaking. Okay, Leonard is bound to break as well. All right, more reinforcements are coming. Good. So, more brigades of our army. Quickly secure the ridges. There's no way we can take all of the ridges. I mean, we possibly could, but I just don't want to try it with the way the units play out in this. So, we're going to move several of our units this direction. All right, Cross is going to go here. Our skirmishers are all up in here. They'll help kind of slow down. Oh wait, I wanted them to move to here. They can rest up a little bit. Leonard is broken. Gonna send Preston forward to this position. The enemy has massed infantry, which is a tactic that I was using earlier in the game, and will undoubtedly use later on. However, for the time being, I am not going to be using it. Let's see. Now, I have a tactic I could do. In fact, I might. In fact, I'm dead certain I'm going to. Rather than attempt to attack them head on right here, I am going to move 2 units here, but I'm going to attempt to come around behind them. Now, it's not the best tactic in the world, but it does allow us. The cord will form on this position. Cross will form here. All right. What I was saying was I'm going to attempt to come around and attack obliquely. Also, the enemy has drawn up so close to my artillery, and I believe Meier has, well, he has 6-pounders. Poe, I know, has Parrots. They have 10-pound ordnance, so again, long-range guns. But Polk has Napoleons, fantastic for this sort of work. And Fisher, 6-pounders, which are not the worst guns for this job. We're gonna let Leonard, sorry, I just saw an L and said Loomis. It's force of habit. Leonard is going to move to, actually he's not, I'm gonna let him do this job. Pettigrew is out here, so I'll send one of my units there, and Sullivan will form on the flank. That's just gonna kind of keep the enemy pressed away from us. I think that's a good tactic. All right, we've got these skirmishers here. The reason being, the enemy will be getting reinforcements from this direction, and I want them to kind of have time to rest up, recover some morale, get ready for war. Cord, go there. Cross, go here. Preston is being charged. Actually, I'm going to send Cross there. Siegfried is going to go here, right on the objective. Sullivan is forming up to attack on the flank, while Bidwell will continue attacking Pettigrew. Gonna shift to Leonard to try to get off one volley. Fire, guys, fire. We can completely destroy Archer, maybe. It would be fantastic. McCord will hit this position very quickly. Brockenbrough is breaking. Leonard needs to form here and prepare to fight. All right, we completely destroyed one of their units. Siegfried is moving forward again. I'll grab Cross and order him to attack Archer. Archer's a very weak unit at the moment. That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to completely shatter them. Right now, one of the objectives is going to be simply kind of slowly wearing the enemies down. Gonna move Poe back here. As I said, long-range guns. Caliph, long-range guns. Move him here. He can later on, they'll be very, very useful in controlling the battlefield. Fisher, though, I believe is 6-pounders. They're going to be good for tearing into the enemy here. Send Preston up here to kind of try to begin developing a flank. All these troops have been forgotten about. They're back here resting. We're going to grab the biggest version of them and send them into shelter here. I'm not going to go out here to this extreme because, again, we're not attempting to defend that territory. Alright, so we're definitely getting off several shots at the enemy. Archer is collapsing. Alright, Pinder's division has been spotted. Okay, that's fine. They're going to continue pouring on troops here, and I know that. One thing I think, and I'm beginning to think this more and more with this game, is don't necessarily put your troops in position where the defensive positions are. They are a good suggestion. However, they can be misleading as to the actual best place to place your troops. Cochrane is here and he is just firing away from this position, but he hasn't had any casualties, but he's definitely killing enemy. Gonna move this commander here while moving Buford here. The reason being, I need morale buffs for everybody. I did not order you to charge, so form up here. Now you guys form out here. Right here, I guess. Alright, there we go. Fisher is now on the front lines. I'm gonna have to pull some of these batteries back so we don't lose them. I know Preston has to be exhausted. However, we have too much fighting and too many enemies that we have to worry about at the moment. With McCord here in cover, we seem to be doing a pretty decent job. The enemy is charging here. Leonard is going to form up and get ready to get off one volley. Hopefully Siegfried will reform and we can then use him to immediately reinforce. They are not reinforcing. Okay, they have stopped, so Preston is going to collapse. They're completely routing. As soon as Preston gets in good position, I'm gonna move him here. We hit Davis really hard. Preston has been killed. The commander's been killed. That means the unit's gonna be really hard to get into good shape at this point. But the enemy has moved in a small... Okay. We need to use... Okay, we're in a bit of a bind now. Let's see. As they attempt to form, hopefully this artillery will be able to get off a couple of good shots. Yep. Now where's Preston? If he shatters, I'm gonna be mad. Preston is still trying to regroup. Leonard's holding his position, which is impressive. And Preston has reformed, so I'm going to send him into this defensive position. Just as I've said, I'm not sure they're the best positioning, but currently it's the best position and best options we've got. Pettingrew is just being shredded. It's going to be a slow fight there. Now, if they attempt to sweep through the town, now we are going to lose this portion of the battle. Now, there are some differences between this and Ultimate General Gettysburg, which I'm going to point out because as soon as we finish this, I'm going to actually take some time off from playing Ultimate General Civil War and play Ultimate General Gettysburg just so that we can immediately compare the two. Anyway, that was the end of this portion of the battle, and that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit like and hit subscribe, and check back tomorrow for the rest of the Battle of Gettysburg, or it may take a couple more days. But anyway, check back tomorrow for more Gettysburg. Thank you so much for watching.